different emphases in what communicators focus on creates a certain kind of tension, and listening and knowing about what those are can relieve some of that conflict. So one of the big things I discuss in the book, I'm going on to talk about a lot of things, but is that the big difference in listening is listening to the person, what the person is trying to say, and also the language that they're using. And oftentimes when there is a conflict, there's a conflict between somebody listening to the content, so the facts and the words and the things someone is saying, and somebody else is listening to the relationship, so the person that's saying it. And so the different focuses often creates uh, conflict and tension. And it's not that we can't understand one or the other, but it's that our focus is on one or the other at the time. I think the idea of somebody not listening in a relationship, I think everyone has done that and experienced it. So we've been on both ends of that, and we know what we mean, but and yet it's so difficult to describe. And that statistic about the pets is very funny, because our pets are there for us. They may not understand every word we're saying, but they are there for us, which is almost the opposite of a partner who can recite back verbatim what we said, and we still feel they weren't really listening. So you are right in the sense that what we mean by that kind of listening, which I call the listening with 14 hearts, because Japanese has two different characters for listening to a person and listening to content. So this listening with 14 hearts is the use of that channel for listening with that selective attention for that person. So you are in a way selecting them to be the center of your attention. That's right. And oftentimes I think in conflict in relationships, especially in the home, it's not that the other person means to ignore you, or just, it may feel that way, but is it's just that the idea that their focus has either drifted to something else, or they don't realize that they're doing that. So in the realized case of the conflict, um, it's I also talk about the Rubens vase. I don't have a picture of that, but the famous vase where you see either the vase or the two people talking in the background. It's not that we can't see both of them. We can see both of them, but we need to see them. I think studies have discovered that we need to see them one at a time. So oftentimes, if for example you get tickets to a concert, I think I talk about this in the book. Somebody gets tickets to a concert, they just go ahead and buy it, because the tickets were going to be sold out soon, and they tell their partner about it, and the partner says, "Oh well, how come you just assumed I was going to be free that day?" And the other person says, "Well, it was a weekend. Of course you were going to be free." It's just this idea that someone is focusing on the event, which is the concert, and the other person is focusing on going together on the event. And this creates a huge conflict that, if each person knew about it, maybe the conflict wouldn't be completely avoided, but it would certainly be allayed. So that's the idea of knowing about the other kinds of listening, that the other channels of listening that we use, and kind of tuning up or tuning down the volume in those channels.